Now, the story is coming from Europe, where Ukraine is preparing to present a revised peace proposal to White House, even as President Zelensky makes it clear that Kyiv will not give up any occupied territory to Russia. Ukrainian officials say the new plan is aimed at keeping talks alive with Washington while firmly rejecting demands that would force Ukraine to surrender land. Zelensky told reporters he has no legal or moral authority to cede territory, stressing that Ukraine's constitution and international law leave no room for such concessions.
That we stand with Ukraine, and if there's to be a ceasefire, it needs to be a just and lasting ceasefire. And that's why it's so important that we repeatedly set out the principle that matters about Ukraine for Ukraine, and we stand here to support you in the conflict and support you in the negotiations and make sure that this is a just and lasting settlement if we can get that far.
Things which are very important for today, I think unity between Europe and Ukraine, and also unity between Europe, Ukraine and the United States. There are some things which we can't manage without Americans, things which we can't manage without Europe, and that's why we need to make some important decisions.
We all support Ukraine, and we all support peace and peace negotiations to have a sustainable, a robust peace. And I think we have a lot of cards in our hands. The financing and the furniture of equipment and training programs to Ukraine, the fact that Ukraine is resisting in this war, and the fact that the Russian economy is starting to suffer, especially after our latest sanctions and the US sanctions. And now I think the main issue is a convergence between our common positions, Europeans and Ukrainians, and the US to finalize these peace negotiations and re-engage a new phase in the best possible conditions for Ukraine, for the Europeans, and for our collective security.
This could be a decisive time for all of us. So we are trying to continue our support for Ukraine, as you know. On the other hand, we are seeing these talks and negotiations in Moscow and in the US. I'm looking forward to hear from you what the outcome of these talks might be. And we are still and remain strongly behind Ukraine and giving support to your country, because we all know that the destiny of this country is the destiny of Europe. So that's the reason why we are here, trying to figure out what we can do. And nobody should doubt on our support for Ukraine. And this is what we are firmly standing behind, and the outcome is open. I'm skeptical about some of the details which we are seeing in the documents coming from the US side, but we have to talk about that.
The move comes at a sensitive moment in diplomacy. Zelensky has been holding intense meetings with European and NATO leaders as allies work to shape a united front. Their goal is to discourage any US-backed peace deal that includes major compromises for Ukraine, which European capitals fear could leave the country exposed to future Russian aggression. While diplomacy continues, the fighting on ground shows no sign of easing. In North Ukraine, the city of Sumy was left without power overnight after a Russian drone attack struck critical energy infrastructure. Regional authorities say more than a dozen drones were involved, part of Moscow's night assault campaign. Casualties checks are still going on. Further west, the death toll from one of Russia's deadliest missile attacks continue to rise. Police in Ternopil region confirmed 2 more bodies were recovered from last month's strike, taking the total number of victims to 38, including 8 minors. Zelensky's diplomacy push follows days of closed-door talks between US and Ukrainian negotiators that ended without an agreement Kyiv could accept. He is now awaiting a detailed briefing from Ukraine's chief negotiator, who has been involved in discussions linked to contracts between Washington and Kyiv. According to Ukrainian officials, a US-drafted peace framework initially contained 28 points, but now has been reduced to 20. Zelensky says no pro-Ukrainian elements were removed, but there has been no compromise on questions of territory. Control of Donbas region and fate of Zaporozhye nuclear plant remains among most sensitive issues. European leaders have welcomed efforts to refine the draft while insisting that any settlement must include strong security guarantees for Ukraine. Those guarantees remain undefined, with divisions in Europe over proposals such as deploying international troops. As Zelensky continues meeting in Brussels and Italy, one message remains firm. Ukraine may be willing to talk for peace but is not going to trade land for it. That's all for this story. As the story unfolds and we get more updates on this, we'll keep you posted. For more geopolitical stories, keep watching Moneycontrol. I'll see you in the next one.
Welcome to Moneycontrol, your ultimate destination in the ever-evolving world of finance, business, markets, policy and technology. India's preeminent news platform, driven by facts and fueled by data. A platform made in India, for India and for the world. Moneycontrol.com has a staggering reach of 100 million plus monthly active users and 6.02 million daily active users. Being a transformative digital force, reshaping how we engage with money, markets and news. Setting us apart is our commitment to delivering accurate information and empowering financial decision-making in a dynamic ecosystem. Seeking a deeper dive into the financial realm, we present Moneycontrol Pro, a powerhouse of exclusive insights, providing actionable investment ideas and expert analysis. Because in today's fast-paced world, informed decisions demand both information and expertise. And we have 1 million plus Moneycontrol Pro total paid subscribers and 100% return in 1.5 years, beating the market. Explore market trends, access expert opinions, and utilize essential financial tools all at your fingertips. Join the millions who trust Moneycontrol.com for their financial journey, where facts meet finance and data drives decisions. Think markets, think Moneycontrol.